Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Dino. It is Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, happening on Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present Pride Fed in August, and we declare that love is in the air with Pride for Lauderdale on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Our magazine events, television news, talk and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ community and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at the same table and share their voice as our anchors. Today, we host this show to support our diverse family. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Dr. Kal Gajraj. Dr. Kal Gajraj is the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at CAN Community Health. Dr. Gajraj is also a Senior Advisor at the U.S. Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights, a professor at Miami-Dade College School of Global Business and on the Communications Council, and contributor at Forbes. Do I have to call you Dr. Kal again?
You do.
Okay. Dr. Kal, Stonewall Ball 2025 is set to light up West Palm Beach on June 28th. Tell me what's happening, Dr. Kal.
Well, Faye, on Saturday, June 28th, the Compass LGBTQ plus Community Center in Lake Worth will host Stonewall Ball 2025, a celebration of LGBTQ pride and history. Join us at the Cohen Pavilion at the Kravis Center from 7 to 9 p.m. VIP guests will enjoy awards, cocktails, and live entertainment. At 9 p.m., the doors will open for a high-energy dance party with DJ Legato, special performances, and a cash bar. Themed Redefined the art of being seen, heard, and felt, the event encourages sensory-inspired red attire. VIP tickets are sold out, but $50 dance party tickets remain at CompassLGBTQ.com. Hurry up, this is a 21 and over event, so get your tickets today. I'm super excited about this event. CAN Community Health partner is Compass in Lake Worth. So we're really excited to be there this weekend at the Stonewall Ball. They always have fabulous events, and Compass is doing some amazing things in HIV prevention for Palm Beach County. So I hope everyone can come out and support Compass this weekend in Lake Worth.
You know, I used to think that West Palm Beach was so far. Right? It's just like, oh, it's so far. And then Julie Seaver over there at Compass was like, come on up for an event. Then she hired me to host their Stonewall Ball a couple of years ago that you and I went to. And it was so amazing, so wonderful. And everything that they do for our community, especially LGBTQ plus kids, is just like so far out, you know, I mean, and they literally like eat, sleep, and breathe our community and this stuff, you know. They just came out of a very successful Pride, you know, their 2-day Pride was incredible up there. And so this is one of their biggest fundraisers of the year. And as you saw, VIP tickets are sold out. So now you just got to pay $50 and party with everybody like a rock star in red. Make sure you wear red.
And with the Bride line, it's not bad.
It's not.
It's like you can drink and just rest and relax. And I love this whole idea of seen and heard, because that's what our whole community needs to do all the time for the next several years. We've got to make sure that we're seen and heard. I love that.
100%. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Stonewall Ball 2025 on June 28th. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Next up, let's welcome anchor Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, #MyQueerChurch, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the whole world. He is an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine, let me finish that, Science Federation, right? Because I love that, right? He was like, he's the current president of the Divine Science Federation, all right? Durrell, BinGlo Pride Night will be at the Pride Center on June 27th. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, Wilton Manors, by the way, I do not look like Divine, but I am the president of the Divine. Well, it's okay if I do, because she was great.
But you're a fan, though.
I am a huge fan. Wait, not a huge fan, but I'm a fan of serious. Anyway, Wilton Manors will shine bright with Pride on Friday, June 27th at the Pride Center at Equality Park, host a special Pride edition of its popular BinGlo night. The fun begins at 7 p.m. at 2040 North Dixie Highway, and doors open at 6:30 p.m. For just $20, guests will receive 3 bingo cards, 2 drinks, light snacks, and an evening filled with color, laughter, and community spirit. Attendees can find more details and secure their spot by visiting pridecenterflorida.org. Pride Center is my neighbor. They're in my neighborhood. They do a lot of good stuff. Robert Boo is a great leader in the community. And anything that has both gambling and drinking, I'm there for. So support a good cause and have a good time doing it.
Send from the bishop, okay?
Right.
You know, in our community, we love bingo.
Right.
I mean, like, it doesn't matter,
BinGlo is
right?
such a cute
Yeah.
thing.
BinGlo,
BinGlo is
Right?
so
I
cute.
love that. BinGlo. So you know there's going to
Like,
be
how did I
some
never
kind
hear
of
that
like
before?
turn off lights kind of aspect,
Right.
which I'm all in for, you know? And when do you get to go out somewhere for $20 and play 3 bingo
With
games,
2 drinks,
get some drinks and some light snacks? Nowhere.
No.
Let me
know?
tell you, Faye and I are professional bingo players.
I
we were
heard.
recently
I've
we were
heard.
recently on a Virgin Voyages cruise. Shout out to our friends at Virgin. And Faye and I, did the bingo. What the 3 days in a row. I
stay
mean,
with
we were
Teresa.
playing 12 cards at the same time. But here's the thing, right? Our friendship doesn't exist in that bingo hall. From the moment we walked into that room, our
Hardcore.
friendship ended. Every man for itself. Don't be calling false bingo.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't be looking at my card. Oh, you didn't get up. Or you have one left. Stand up. I mean, it was like, you
Like,
get down to business.
How many hours at a time do you play?
An hour?
Would you
Okay.
lend
It
one
went by
another a
fast.
dauber? Would you lend, if you lost your dauber, would you lend her one?
No, they would like
No.
to punch through. You have to punch through the
No.
numbers. So.
No,
Yeah, but
not
we didn't
on
help
this.
each other out. Nothing. It's every man for themselves.
Nope, every
Yeah.
man for them. And you can also be that stingy like Dr. Kal was with me during our bingo tournament at the Pride Center, okay? And it also, all the money goes to a good cause. So the Pride Center is just incredible. Everything that they do, they host so many of our events, our community events, there at the Pride Center, and it's our time to give back a little. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at BinGlo Pride Night on June 27th, and that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Next up, let's welcome my family. He's anchor Dale Stine, a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ plus community. He's the director of music ministry at the world famous Unity on the Bay and a moderator of Miami Gay List. So Dale, Twist South Beach celebrated 32 fabulous years today on June 25th. How amazing. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, hi, Faye. Twist South Beach marks its dazzling 32nd anniversary, yes, as you said, today, with an unforgettable night of music, glam, and celebration. The iconic LGBTQ plus nightclub located at 1057 Washington Avenue in South Beach is hosting guests from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. with an open bar and hors d'oeuvres. The event features DJ Alden Brown, drag stars CeCe Glitzer, TP Lords, Ebony Excel, and Akasha O'Hara Lords. Known for its vibrant nightlife and its slogan, which is never a cover, always a groove, Twist promises a fun-filled evening for all. Well, first of all, I love Twist because, it is truly iconic. And in any business staying open 32 years, that's a feat.
On South Beach,
But
okay? Like,
anywhere, anytime.
yes.
So, say on South Beach, where it's not easy to open, they don't. I mean, the code, everything is so difficult. So it's really, and for a gay business to be open that many years, and Joel Stedman is a dear friend, and he started out there as a bartender.
Shut up.
Richard Traynor, the original owner, Richard Traynor, may he soar in peace. Joel was a bartender. Edison Farrow was a bartender. All these iconic people were bartenders. Now Joel owns the damn place. And
Nathan came out of there.
Nathan was a spinoff.
A spinoff.
And so I'm going to be there. I'm going down.
Of course, you're going to be out there. And you're going to be past your school now. You're going to be past your bedtime tonight.
It's always kind of fun. It's a little reunion. Those things are like reunions. You see people that haven't come out in like ages. So
I'm in this country because of Twist. I met my ex 30 years ago there at Twist one night.
Wow!
On the dance floor, on
the dance floor on the second floor.
The main dance floor.
And you said, "I need papers. I need papers."
I wasn't even planning to come here.
Espera, yo necesito papeles. Yo necesito papeles.
That's why it was on his knees.
It was before even papeles for gay people work that way. Okay, so I met him there.
Oh, that's so beautiful, right?
30 years ago.
30 years ago.
They just opened only in 2 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was recently opened. So I owe a lot to that bar.
Anything featuring the House of Lords, particularly TP Lords, is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a party. You know that, right? I mean, I moved to South Beach in the 90s, right? And as a girl, going to these gay bars, a lot of the places weren't that welcoming, right? And Twist was, no matter what, right? And you went to that back room in that little casita in the back, right?
The
little cabana, little bungalow, right? And, no questions asked. Anybody can do whatever they wanted, right?
Whatever happens in the bungalow stays.
Whatever happens in the bungalow stays in the bungalow. So congratulations to Twist on 32 incredible years. May you have 32 more years of giving queer kids a safe space to be who we are authentically, allowing us to love who we love, and having a great time doing it. So thank you very much, Twist, and we'll definitely enjoy your anniversary tonight on South Beach. And Queer News Tonight congratulates Twist South Beach for completing 32 fabulous years. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. Some other stuff Dino was doing in the late 90s. Dino, a late snow will warm hearts at Sunshine Cathedral on June 28th. Tell me what's happening out.
On Saturday, June 28th at 2 p.m., Thinking Cap Theater will present a professional stage reading of At Late Snow at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts. This groundbreaking 1974 comedy by lesbian playwright Jane Chambers follows a college English professor who finds herself trapped in a snowbound cabin with her current lover, her former lover, her very first lover, and her future partner. The play, known for its positive portrayal of lesbian characters, launched Chambers' career. Tickets are $20 and include a post-show, talkback, and reception. The event is supported by the Our Fund Foundation, the Community Foundation of Broward County, and Sunshine Cathedral. This is great. We don't get to see a lot of lesbian plays in town, not that I'm aware of. So I think this is fantastic that, that they, I don't get to see them. I don't get to go.
Yeah.
And, or they don't get, promoted. I don't get to know. And I think it's fantastic that that we are, promoting this, and lesbians in town can come out and then.
And non-lesbians, you're allowed to see it too, Dino. It won't burn your eyes or anything.
I haven't seen this show yet, but Nicole Stoddard is an amazing director.
Yep.
Everything she does is brilliant.
Everything Nicole does.
And she does great things all year long. So I don't even know the show yet. I can't wait to see it because everything she does is amazing.
Everything. Nicole is incredible, all right? And also, Jane Chambers is also incredible too. And I am definitely going to stay for the meet and greet because I have questions. Okay? Because just thinking, just everybody right here at the table, imagine being somewhere trapped with your current person, your future current, you're the first person you slept with, your ex, okay?
That's like a scene in Saw. Like, how do you escape that room?
Saw, yes, a nightmare. That's exactly what it'd be. Please kill me to get me out of this room,
And written in 1974. That's really, it sounds cutting edge. You don't think Oh, that had to have just been written like, a few years ago. But
No, 1974, kid.
Wow.
And with that, I'm also going to say a very big thank you to Bishop. Thank you so much for what Sunshine Cathedral does, okay? Sunshine Cathedral, aside from being my queer church, it's also a place where you open up just love for theater kids. We get to see performing arts. We get to see
Coco.
I mean, you name it. They've got an incredible season every single year, and this will be one of the things at Sunshine Cathedral. So you guys kick ass. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at a late snow screening on June 28th, and that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is the legendary events host, a television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspot's Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, we all have the ability to step into history at the Stonewall Re-Enactment on June 28th. Tell me, what's happening out?
Yes, Cal. So on Saturday, June 28th, the Stonewall National Museum and Archives will host the second annual historic reenactment of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising. The event will begin at 4 p.m., so you have plenty of time to come to this and then go off to anything else that you've got going on, right? Isn't that perfect? So we're inviting attendees to step into LGBTQ history by gathering as the original crowd did on Christopher Street. Participants are encouraged to dress like it's 1969 and embody the spirit of that powerful night. Following the reenactment, guests will enjoy light refreshments, a bar, and guided tours of the 55 Years of Pride exhibit. Those wishing to participate should RSVP to Monique at stonewall-museum.org. All are welcome to be part of history. You know, the Stonewall Uprising was our Civil War, right? It is our LGBTQ plus history. Even though our history is being erased every turn we move, we know the truth. And we know that it's solidified as such an important time in history, right? All the prides that we celebrate now would have never occurred if it wouldn't have been for that uprising. So I wasn't able to go to this reenactment last year, and I will not miss it this year.
I got tickets already.
I will not miss
they're
it.
free, but you get them.
But you have to get them. Yeah. I mean, Robert Keston, the executive director over there, he is just incredible. And I don't remember what it was. I think it was the sign from the original Stonewall that he was touring. The light up sign, the neon sign, right? That he was touring the country with that. He had Laverne Cox at one of his exhibitions. Incredible. So the fact that he's doing this back here, back home, I can't wait, you know? And like, they're also allowing people to, last year they were, I don't know if this year they were, but you could pay a fee and you could be one of the people to throw a brick, right? Or a shot glass, depending on who you ask, right? So, I mean, I'm all in.
Yeah, what an incredible event just for history, because, you know, I wasn't born during that time, but, you know, for those of us who, you know, never experienced, you know, that, you know, events, you know, it's good for us to go back and to actually reflect and be like, okay, this is what our people experienced. You know, this is our history. You know, just like how there's Civil War reenactments and, you know, this is part of that history that we can't let anyone forget. Yeah,
and you just visited Stonewall like a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
really
important.
takes it. I mean, I lived in New York for over 20 years, and every time I would be at Stonewall Inn, I mean, I would just think, this is history.
Yeah. I would get off the subway right about there on Christopher to go down to the theater I worked at, which is closer to the piers, of course.
Of course.
And, but so every time
They were so fun.
right? But it was just there. It was just there every day. So it was like a pilgrimage. You couldn't go by it without thinking about it.
You almost do like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
You do a Hail Mary, and then you walk a little more steps, and you take a picture next to Gay Street, right? Like that's just how you have to go.
Then you go to the piers and do whatever.
And now those statues are there, which are nice.
Yes. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Stonewall reenactment on June 28th, and that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Robert Garcia makes history as first out gay immigrant to lead a major House committee. On Tuesday, U.S. Representative Robert Garcia of California made history as the first out gay immigrant to lead House Democrats on the powerful Oversight and Accountabilities Committee. At just 47, Garcia is now the youngest Democrat to hold such a high-ranking committee post. A former mayor of Long Beach and an immigrant from Peru, Garcia has long been known for his bold, unapologetic voice, especially in challenging far-right extremism. House Democrats made the announcement official in a post on Twitter saying, quote, House Democrats elect Representative Robert Garcia, the ranking member of the Oversight Dems, end quote. Garcia takes the baton from the late Representative Jerry Conley of Virginia, who stepped down from the role during cancer treatment and passed away in May. Rather than stick with the old guard, Democrats signaled a generational shift. Garcia won the caucus vote after other contenders, including Representative Kwesi Mfume and Jasmine Crockett, withdrew. His final opponent, Representative Stephen Lynch, couldn't match Garcia's momentum. Garcia is the only Democrat on every committee where Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene serves, and he's met her fire with facts. He's also led LGBTQ rights efforts abroad of confronting the Trump administration over the deportation of gay asylum seeker Andre Hernandez Romero to a mega prison in El Salvador. Equality PAC co-chairs Representative Richie Torres and Mark Takan called Garcia's election, quote, a powerful moment for LGBTQ representation in Congress, end quote. For LGBTQ Americans watching Congress, this is a major win. Yes, this is a major win. Robert Garcia is not just showing up, he's showing out, okay? He's 47, so he's young. He's a young Democrat in that role, and he's on every committee where Marjorie Taylor Greene acts up. So when she acts a fool, he's there with facts, all right? Meaning that she's gonna be catching feelings all the time in real time while he's there, all right? So as a gay Peruvian immigrant with fire in his belly and receipts in his hands, he's exactly what we need right now. That kind of leadership and community effort and support is what we need in DC right now. So it's got me excited.
And for me, I think the most important part of the story is not that, you know, he's gay or that he's the immigrant, or it's the generational shift. You know, that is where we're headed in our current elections and future elections, because I'm sorry to say it, but our politicians are way too old. And it's time that the younger generations who are coming into these leadership roles start to, you know, outseat all of these elections across the board, no matter on either side of the aisle.
It's happening. It's happening.
What was it yesterday with Cuomo? Right, the guy who beat Cuomo, right?
Yeah, in New York.
New York City mayor.
Mandani.
33 years old,
But
right?
he got younger voters, like Kal said, to come out and vote. People that it was their first time voting came out and voted for him.
Right.
I think, but to your point, it's time for a shift. I mean,
time for a shift.
And also because it's not just old people, it's like really old people. I mean, I think of myself as older, but there are people who are like old. I mean, they're in their 80s, mid to late 80s, and they're still serving in these positions.
And
it's
also,
just like,
But I don't mind that so much. For me, it's about representation. Like if it was all 30-year-olds, that still wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we need some people seasoned. We need some people new with new ideas and new energy. We need it all.
A
And when it's all
minority.
unbalanced, that's when things go crazy.
Yeah.
but I think
minorities.
So
and
unbalanced.
also in leadership positions, not just part of the team, but in leadership positions. That's important.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like we always say from this table, representation matters. And at the end of the day, he is an immigrant.
minority.
He is a Latino
Gay.
from Peru, and he's gay.
He's
And
checking a lot of
cute.
boxes.
Politician hair notwithstanding. He's cute. And that matters.
He's cute. He's cute.
It is cute.
But it's sad but true what the bishop says. Him being good looking helps the cause. It does, you know?
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Well, Sora Mandami is also very cute, and you know he's Muslim, he's young. You know this is
He's the
important.
first Muslim in that place as well.
Yeah, I mean this is important. We need people that sit at the table that represent minorities, young people, but minorities too. The McBride from Delaware, trans woman.
Sarah.
You know Sarah McBride.
She's amazing.
Right. So people like that. That's what we need.
The leadership of
Generational
America should
shift.
look like America.
Exactly right.
Amen. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's take a deep dive into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Kal Gajraj, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Kane Community Health announces long-acting same-day injectable PrEP. In a groundbreaking move to curb the spread of HIV, Kane Community Health has launched a same-day injectable PrEP program, marking a major leap forward in HIV prevention efforts across the country. That means eligible individuals can walk into a Kane clinic and leave protected, with their first injection administered immediately. Marlon Pittman, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Kane Community Health said, quote, "This innovative program significantly reduces the barriers to HIV prevention by streamlining the process from consultation to administration," end quote. The injectable form of PrEP, which stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, is especially helpful for those who struggle with the daily pill regimen. It's discreet, long-lasting, and designed to support consistent protection for people most at risk. This life-saving service is now available nationwide at Kent Community Health Clinics across Arizona, Florida, Nevada, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. This is a major leap forward in science, especially with the FDA approval to ending the epidemic. The great part about this is that the last 10 years that this has been in research, the research behind this actually came from CAN.
Oh, I love it.
So a lot of people don't really realize CAN has a very extensive research and development team. So we work with the pharmaceutical companies on research of how PrEP has worked for both male and female. The results of this are phenomenal. There's 0% of infection when it comes to women and nearly 0% for men.
Amazing.
So the science that's leaped so fast forward from where we were prior to PrEP to being on PrEP now to having a 2-month injectable to now a 6-month injectable.
6 months.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's I used to work in HIV research back in the late 90s, okay, with Care Resource. I go back to where, protease inhibitors came out, okay, where, NNRTIs, I mean, they're very basic, ACT had come out already, but, we were, to see now that we have, Gilead, which is the maker of Yeztugo, this drug, lenacapavir, which is fantastic, that Gilead has, obviously, is also profitable. Let's not forget the fact that this is a very expensive drug, okay? So, which I hope that it works somehow because, the health system in this country and the insurance business and all that is such a mess.
It's all about money.
How we're going to get access to this because Apretute, the drug prior, which was made by Veeb, also had issues for access in the beginning.
So money related.
Always the problem.
It's always money.
Always.
It's always money.
But this is revolutionary.
But it's
okay, this is a freaking game changer.
This almost
Really
make
is.
me break my 14-year celibacy. Almost. Maybe I would go back to it. It's every 6 months.
Yeah, because one of the main things here is compliancy. Taking a daily drug like Truvada, Descovy, that also Gilead makes. It's a great tool, but not everybody has that compliance.
No.
If you don't have that compliance, you can develop, resistance to the drug, and then it's going to work against you. This having twice a year, this drug makes a huge change.
And you're walking out of the office already protected, kid. You don't even have to go start taking the med.
To the bathhouse.
You can go
Doctor's office is
straight.
the bathhouse.
You can go straight to behind the tire at Eagle. You can go straight there. That's
Right to dig Doc and Pete out.
Right?
Yeah.
But dude, this reminds me about 20-something years ago when they started what they called salvage therapies. I think it was called Fusion. It was the same thing. It was when nothing was working. It was like, oh, you've gone through all the meds. Here comes this injectable, and it changed the face. So every once in a while, I don't know what it is about intravenous, but it's when you get there, you've gotten to some good news apparently, because this exact thing that happened with the salvage therapy about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, cheers to science.
Right.
And cheers to Can Community Health. Thank you so
a
much.
sponsor of the Sunshine Cathedral.
Center for the Performing Arts also as well.
You had to get that little plug in there. didn't you, Bishop?
We love
Of
Can.
course, we love Can. We all love
had to
Can.
inject that into the conversation.
Well, I'm still celibate.
Oh, my God.
I celibate and give the rest away.
Okay.
That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up politics. Extremist Mark Robinson doubles down on hateful views in new interview. Despite a crushing defeat in last year's North Carolina governor's race, Mark Robinson still isn't backing down or owning up. In a new interview with far-right anti-LGBTQ pastor John Amanchakua, what is it? Amanchakua. I had it before the thing. I said it 1,000 times. I want to get it sick because it's important. Amankachuyu. That's it. It sounds like a man could chew you. Yes, okay. So John Amankachuyu, the state's former Republican lieutenant governor, denied any wrongdoing during his controversial campaign and doubled down on his extremist rhetoric, referring to reports that linked him to a Nude Africa account where he allegedly praised slavery, admitted to being a, quote, black Nazi, and liking transgender porn. Robinson said, first off, the allegations, like I've said time and again, are not true. Then, second off, he continued, even if they were true, why does that upset you so bad that a grown man would view pornography, end quote. Now, that's not the only contradiction. Robinson, a vocal opponent of abortion, admitted in an August campaign ad that he and his wife had had one when they were dating. I suspect she carried the largest burden in that procedure. But in any case, despite previously calling abortion murder and genocide, his loss, he claims, wasn't due to his record or rhetoric, but because he, quote, kind of backed off of a few of his core issues to appear more moderate. These include the beliefs that, quote, there are only two genders and life begins in the womb, it's sacred and should be protected in the womb, and there are zero exceptions, end quote. Still, Robinson hinted he may run again, not to win, but to expose and harass fellow Republicans like Senator Tom Tillis for being what he calls a coward Republican. Whether voters will back his return remains to be seen, but LGBTQ plus communities are watching closely. There's a word for this sort of person in the Bible, and that word is ass. Cannot stand this person. So, right. He is just evil. He's just whatever. First of all, trans porn. It's not that you like porn, because everyone does, and people who say they don't or that they never have, you're lying.
Right.
So first of all, it's not, but that you are just Satan's toe jam when it comes to trans people, but you're exploiting them to get you going. That's the thing. It's not porn.
It's the hypocrisy.
It's the hypocrisy and the abuse.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy, and it wasn't that I was just evil incarnate. It's that I wasn't evil enough. Bitch, please. You were just, I can't stand him. I can't believe I got this story. But he is, because he is evil, not evil like, we're all made in the divine image, whatever, but but how he shows up and treats people is just cruel.
No.
And I'm hoping we're coming to the end of a time where that is popular and acceptable.
Right. Yeah. And that North Carolina is my home state. And I was watching this very closely when the election was taking place, thinking there's just no way how. I mean, even in the reddest areas, how could this person possibly win?
Yeah.
Because it's like something you would not even imagine to be true. It's so bad. It's like you think it's comical, but it's so comical. It's pathetic and scary.
And scary too, because
Really
Mark
scary.
Robinson, he's obsessed with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
he really is like overly obsessed with
He's
us. I mean,
revealing something.
like Bishop said, you can watch trans porn all you want. That's okay. We root you on for that, but then you're going to go against our whole entire community, which is kind of nuts. If he wants to run again,
And then
let him
the
run again. He's
abortion.
not going to win.
Don't want to lick me and try to oppress me at the same time. That's right.
And then the abortion.
Yeah.
No, and the black Nazis, sir. What? What is wrong with you?
Just
Are you
stop.
out free in
I
a
mean-
hospital somewhere?
That's called Stockholm syndrome. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm, yeah.
That basically the guy probably when he was a slave, he adores his labor. That he wants to go back to that. So this is disgusting. Somebody like him, even in the South, that it could be backwards. There are people in North Carolina that realize this guy is evil.
Dangerous.
But how does a person like this, because he's really a mess, get to even to that point?
I'm saying he was the lieutenant
of having
governor.
a team
That's right.
of people to put you as a candidate.
He was the party's candidate, and before that, the state's lieutenant
Right.
governor. How
Yeah.
did he get there?
That's just
No
insanity.
idea. The important part was that he didn't win. All right. But he's back with his crazy rhetoric and he says he might run again. So stay tuned. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Del Stine, and let's queer up gay culture. Love for gay porn soars in red states despite anti-LGBTQ plus laws. A new report from Pornhub is raising eyebrows and questions about what's really going on behind closed doors in America's most conservative states. According to the adult site's latest Pride Insight study, North Dakota and Wyoming Both states that voted for Donald Trump in the last presidential election are watching significantly more gay porn than the national average. In fact, North Dakota topped the list with gay porn viewership 43% higher than the U.S. average. Wyoming followed closely at 29% above average. Ironically, both states are known for anti-LGBTQ+ legislation and scored the lowest possible rankings in the Human Rights Campaign 2024 State Equality Index. Pornhub also revealed the types of content each state prefers. Wyoming residents had a strong interest in men with big, well, you know what. That preference was shared by viewers in California, Alaska, Iowa, and South Dakota, and many other places. Meanwhile, North Dakotans were drawn to twink porn, just like folks in Arizona, Oregon, and New Mexico. And North Dakota doesn't stop there. It ranked #1 in the country for daddy porn. Wyoming, the top state for military-themed adult videos. Both states have banned gender-affirming care for trans youth and have laws barring trans people from participating in sports. Elsewhere, liberal states like Oregon and California reported below average gay porn viewership, with Oregon at -16% and California at -4%. But not every blue state followed the pattern. Delaware came in with viewership a full 30% above average. So while some politicians may be pushing anti-LGBTQ+ policies, their voters might just be telling a very different story in private. Wow. Yeah. I don't know why I seem to always get the big porn stories. And as I've stated, everybody knows I've been celibate, except for myself. I guess maybe I get them because the porn is my boyfriend. I guess
Maybe.
that's why.
That's your boo.
That's really why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Okay. Now I'm okay with those numbers. How do you know? I mean, who's really getting the data? And is everybody telling the truth about,
Pornhub. I think the data comes from
they do it
Pornhub.
they get it from their
I guess so.
users,
It's
time
from-
watched videos,
Who is
searches.
the PhD sociology student though who's collecting this data?
That's an interesting study, though.
Yeah,
It's an interesting
I
study.
was the sociologist who thought of it.
No.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
going to collect? I'm going to collect that on this.
Right?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
PSU go Delaware.
like you,
But
we-
It's algorithm.
it's algorithm.
Yeah.
It's algorithm.
It's not just like some grandmother saying like.
But we all know what happened at the RNC, okay, when Grindr almost got knocked the F
Yeah,
off,
they couldn't.
okay? I mean, remember
Like,
that,
get
all right?
online.
I love this story because it's freaking rich. You know what I
Right.
mean? The states screaming the loudest against queer folks are the same ones watching the most gay porn, all right?
Right.
North Dakota, Wyoming, y'all enjoying your porn, huh?
Right.
And it's giving me closeted legislature open browser history. Okay, that's where I think it's happening from. You know what I mean? So they ban drag queens. They go after our kids, but you forget to delete your bookmarks on your history, and that's how we find out that you're on Pornhub all the time. You know?
It just makes me
shame.
think that, like, in middle America, they love to hate us, but they're on their phones and they're like,
And
let's
they're
see
so
what these
jealous that
gays
they
are up
can't beat
to.
us also.
And start
Yeah.
Googling gay porn, and now all of a sudden they're
But it's not just
addicted
it's not
to
just
it.
interest though, is it? I mean, you don't pull taffy out of interest. I mean,
No.
they're really enjoying it. Like it's
They're watching it.
Yes, and shame drives deviance. Notice in places where there are healthy sexuality, less porn. So yeah, and by deviant I just mean out of the they would call it deviant, and yet they're having to be in the dark in the shadows to watch it. Whereas if they would just have healthy sex lives, they could do it or not, they could go out or not, they would have choices, and they would be able to experiment safely and like adults. But because they demonize it, they wind up hurting their own consciousness, their own psyche, by doing what they're even ashamed of. And then anytime you're sick as your secrets. As long as you make it a shameful, secretive thing, you're fucking yourself up as much as anybody else.
But it's just Pornhub's data, so it's not. I mean, there are many other ways to watch porn, so it's not. They're not gathering the data from other sources.
Yeah, but Pornhub is free, and a lot of people, you don't
Yeah,
use
just saying.
Pornhub anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, because you're stuck on Twitter, because that's the only thing that's on X right now is just
porn, yeah.
penis. Am I lying?
Well,
Because I got off X when you were supposed to,
I
okay?
did.
And most
Well,
of you stayed
I
on for the
canceled-
porn.
No, I
That's how much
canceled
you
my
love porn.
Oh,
I
wow.
canceled my personal account.
Okay,
And I
okay,
only
Dale
use it for
Stine.
the
So
porn.
now you have an account.
He has a business account.
I have a mind your damn business account.
Now I understand. My bad. My bad. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. What a show today. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up politics. Melanie Stansbury silences Marjorie Taylor Greene again in heated House hearing. Another House subcommittee meeting turned into a shouting match on Tuesday. This time, Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury of New Mexico once again locked horns with Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene. The chaos unfolded during a hearing of the House Oversight Subcommittee on Delivering on Government Efficiency. At the center of the debate was Republican efforts to formalize the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, an office created by executive order under the Trump administration. Republicans say DOGE slashed $180 billion in federal spending, but Democrats like Stansbury say the real cost has been to the American people, citing delays in Social Security and the crumbling of essential services. Tensions peaked when Greene attempted to defend Trump's record, declaring, quote, "No one loves veterans more than President Trump," end of quote. That's when Stansbury stepped in and saying, quote, Madam Chair, right now is not your time," end of quote. Greene shot back saying, quote, "I'm the chair of this committee," end of quote. But Stansbury didn't flinch. What followed was a flurry of gavel slamming, shouting, and repeated interruptions. It's not the first time Stansbury has disrupted Greene's theatrics. Just last month, she debunked a doctor image used by Greene's staff in an attack on transgender inclusive sports policy. That moment too went viral. Stansbury says that the GOP culture wars rhetoric is out of step with reality. For many LGBTQ viewers, especially those tired of transphobic political stunts, Stansbury's steady pushback is not just refreshing, it's necessary. Here's the video of the heated exchange.
I yield back.
The gentleman yields, no one
Madam
loves
Chair.
veterans more than President Trump, and he's made that apparent. That's why he's working for peace
Madam Chair,
right
Madam-
now.
It's
Madam
not
Chair.
your time right now.
I'm the chair of this committee.
That's not how
I'm the chair-
parliamentary procedure works.
You're not
Madam
recognized, Ms.
Chairwoman.
Stanbury.
You're
not
recognized either. You can't just speak anytime you want.
I'm the
That's
chair of
not
this
how
committee.
That's not how it
Ms.
works.
Stansbury,
Madam-
you're not recognized.
Madam Chairwoman, that is not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
all day, but that's not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not
parliamentarians-
recognized.
We're going to get you a Robert's
Ms.
Rules of
Stansbury,
Order
you're
and
not-
the
A
committee
point of
Ms.
order.
Stansbury,
so
you're
that
not
you can-
recognized.
so that
Point
you
of
can
order.
Understand parliamentary procedure.
Point of order.
Okay.
Point of order.
All right, Madam Chair, calm down. Let's move on.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized. Point of order.
Madam Chair, I've got oh, I'm sorry, you had a point of order.
So,
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, can we decide who's going to speak first and we don't?
Absolutely. I'm the chair of this committee, and Mr.
I know
Gill,
that,
Mr.
but-
Gill from Texas
There
is
you go.
recognized for 5 minutes.
There you go.
Madam Chair, I had
It's about time somebody put her in her place, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is out of control, she's crazy, and now more and more representatives are standing up to her and her bullying because she needs to be controlled. She is completely out of control, and somehow she's even said some things against Donald Trump recently. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like,
very-
She was getting some kudos from some people.
yeah,
I found
she's
really
like the
annoying.
MAGA call
You
is
don't get
gonna.
the
No props from
yeah.
me, honey.
No,
Yeah.
no, I
But
love
she
her.
looked like Khrushchev in drag just then. I imagine that was a shoe in her hand. Look it up if you're, if you're young. It was a thing. But yeah, no, this bleach bad body butch whatever.
Right.
That she is like a cartoon villain. And so I'm glad that people are trying. I hope she just gets so exhausted from just all the, even though she stirs it all up, but I hope she's so exhausted from it that she just goes away.
Evil people don't get exhausted, unfortunately. That's just kind of how it goes. I mean, big shout out going out to Melanie Stansbury. I love her. And every time she opens her mouth, I am there for it. And my gosh, she gets hotter and hotter every single time she freaking, shuts down MTG. I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? She's not here for the circus. You know what I mean? She's basically like, come on, we've got work to do. And the chairwoman is just off the railing.
They're not there to govern. They don't know how to govern. So they're just theatrics. It's just theatrics and bullshit.
Yeah, Robert's Rules, it's like a pamphlet. Like you could learn it in an hour. So there's no excuse to not, to not follow the procedures.
Anything, Cal?
I just wish that people would smarten up and start to learn the facts, because Republicans like to throw around this whole $186 billion saved. But when you think about it from a federal budget of like $6 trillion, that's only 2.5%. You know, so let alone $1 billion is a lot of money to us.
Of course.
You know, $200 billion, yeah, it's a lot of money for us, but it's less than 2.5%. So people need to really calm down.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dr. Kal Gajraj, Bishop Durrell Watkins, what title should I give you, Dale? Supreme Master Dale Stine, and Madam Dino Mosquera. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative, and of course, being queer. Good night.
Good night.